We must not let Islamist extremists steal our movement, our demand, our cry for a free Palestinian state. But it seems that often in the marches, there are Islamist extremists who are trying to infiltrate the marches in the name of a jihadi movement. We must be careful of that as well. Those of us who want Palestine to be free, we must ensure that Islamist extremists like Hamas and their supporters do not steal the moral of the march, which is to have a free Palestinian state where everybody should have equal rights, whether they be Muslims, Christians, Jews, whoever they might be. But Hamas policy is not compatible with our demand for a free Palestine. Free Palestine movement became desperate over the years because the most powerful secular countries in the world abandoned them in a way. The countries where church and state are separated stood by theocratic Zionist political entity Israel. They should have demanded Israel to be more secular, truly democratic. In a truly secular democratic country, Jews shouldn't have any fear of anyone. Like Jews they're safest in New York or other parts of the US. Is the United States of America a Jewish state? No. Is it an Islamic state? No. Is it a Christian state? No. It's a truly democratic state where everybody has equal right with others. So, why can't we sponsor a truly democratic Israel or a truly democratic Palestine? Or why can't we give it another name, whatever name that might be, a one-state solution for all? You can say it is okay in pen and paper, but in reality it's not. Why not? Because there are other countries in that region where Islam and Sharia playing roles. So if Islam and Sharia plays role in those countries, then we should also try to help them become secular. Like Saudi Arabia is heading towards reformation, we should support that. And other countries in the neighborhood who are trying to reform, like Jordan has reformed a lot, we should support those countries, their efforts to become more democratic. USA is a leader of the free world. President Biden is a leader of the free world. So those leaders should act like truly democratic leaders. And they should sponsor, support, patronize countries where democracy rules, equality prevails. Theocracy doesn't play a role. But are we seeing that? No. That's why the Palestinians became desperate over the decades. They are seeking help from anywhere. The only help they can now expect is from the neighborhood because they are being branded as Arabs. We have forgotten there are 3.5 million Philistines or Palestinians who call themselves Christians. There are 180,000 Christians living in Israel who call themselves Palestinians. I think we have forgotten about them. So it is not really possible to have a theocracy for Palestinians as well. It is also unworkable. So we can't sponsor a Palestine where Hamas-like organizations will prevail. And at the same time, we must also demand Israel to become more secular. It's not happening. That's why the movement is being penetrated, being stolen sometimes by Islamist extremists because the Palestinians have become desperate and helpless in their plight for freedom. So we can't blame Palestinians for sometimes selecting the Islamists as their freedom fighters because they're not getting help anywhere. Secular countries of the world must stand by them. Secular people must stand by them so that Palestinians can feel we have help from elsewhere who are secular. We don't need to opt for Sharia-loving terrorists, right? So it is true that there are extremist elements who are trying to steal or penetrate the Palestinian movement. Sometimes we can probably see them amongst the pro-Palestinian marches. But we must remain alert that there should be people can say Allahu Akbar there, because Muslims call Allahu Akbar in everything they do. So they can chant. Palestinians who are Muslims, they can say Allahu Akbar. But at the same time, there are Christian Palestinians who can chant God, Jesus the Savior. I don't see any problem. There are communist Palestinians as well. So it should be a united flow for humanity, so that no single fanatic group takes over the movement. This is how it should be. So we need to be alert about that as well. How can I, being an ex-Muslim, support Hamas in any way, in any form or shape? Because I get death threats from such extremists every single moment of my life. But still, I support Free Palestinian movement. Because I think this, if I don't support Palestinian movement, then I will let extremist groups like Hamas take over the freedom movement of Palestinians. And I can't support that, can I? I can't let that happen. So those of you who are secular, those of you who want a free Palestine, should also not let Islamist extremist groups steal the show. Finally, being a human being, I can't keep silent in the face of genocide, as I had condemned Hamas attack on Israelis, Israeli children, Israeli civilians. In the same way, I can't remain silent in the face of atrocities, genocide by Israel. I can't remain silent, because being silent in the face of crisis is cowardice, and I can't be a coward. I'm in support of free Palestinian possessions, but at the same time, I don't agree with our Home Secretary branding the entire marches as hate marches. Whom do I hate? I don't hate Jewish people. I don't hate Muslims. I don't hate Christians, although many of the Islamists want to kill me. Because I love a human as a human being. I love every child, whether that child be a Muslim, or that child be a Christian or Jew, Israeli or Palestinian. We must stand for humanity. And standing for humanity should be a pride, nothing to be ashamed of.